ESL1 Raleigh Qualifier Investigation. In the following post, we'll go through what occurred during the ESL1 Raleigh qualifiers, how it led to Navi Jr. being disqualified, why other teams weren't caught initially, and what the final verdict for ESL1 Raleigh will be. The bug. The bug that we investigated primarily manifests as a way to detect if the other team has used smoke whilst they're in the fog. Assuming that your team had vision of an enemy hero whilst the smoke was in their inventory, you could alt-click, click, and drag the item. Usually, this would display a message. Alt-click in the chat, click-drag displays an error telling you don't control that unit. The bug in this situation is as follows. If the smoke has been used since the hero was last seen, then this message does not display, giving you that information without the other team being aware. Using this bug gives you valuable and otherwise unobtainable information, allowing you to avoid walking into bad fights, prepare yourselves for a team fight, adapt farming patterns to avoid ganks, or use the information to avoid fighting altogether during opponent power spikes. This bug has since been patched out of the game. Our timeline. This smoke bug was first banned by us at ESL1 Bangkok, with Blast also banning its use at Blast Slam. All teams in attendance at ESL1 Bangkok were also informed of the bug to ensure they understood the function of the bug and its severity. Although teams participating in the ESL1 Raleigh qualifiers were not reinformed that the bug was still not permitted, they were also not informed that it was now allowed. PGL also explicitly banned the use of this bug during their qualifiers for PGL Wallachia Season 3, which were happening simultaneously. Navi Jr. and complications. The first complaint regarding the use of the bug in the qualifiers was made by Avalos immediately after their match against Navi Jr. in the lower bracket final. We immediately investigated Navi Jr.'s matches, logging each incident of bug abuse. It was discovered at this time that Navi Jr. had extensively exploited this bug throughout their qualifier run. At the time, there were also checks of all of the other qualified teams to ensure that they did not use the bug. Unfortunately, one of the people responsible for checking other qualified teams experienced a bug where his client could not properly recreate the POV of the players he was spectating. Due to this, incidents from other teams were missed. Believing that only Navi Jr. had used the bug, they were disqualified from the event on Wednesday, 22nd January. In the following 24 hours, the community helped to identify other uses of the bug that our team had missed at the time. This is what led to our team discovering the replay bug and showed us that we needed to create a more robust checking system with multiple checks. The investigation was reopened, this time with a new and more thorough methodology. The sheer difficulty in going through every single qualifier game multiple times led to a longer time frame for us to publish information, and as we wanted to be absolutely certain that we had caught all cases of the smoke bug being abused. The investigation was further aided by a software tool which could flag in the demo files to identify all points in the match where it could look like the bug was triggered. It is important to note that though we specified a use case above that constitutes abuse, it's possible to trigger this flag in a non-abusive way. For example, if you alt-click an enemy's component which they have since combined since leaving your vision, it can trigger the flag. Even though this is a natural occurrence in a game of Dota, that does not indicate an attempt to gain an unfair advantage. All flagged incidents have also had to be manually reviewed to establish the intent of the player involved and what advantage, if any, could be gained. On proportionality. It is important for us to establish that there are degrees of fault here. There are 0 legitimate ways to gain updated information on the status of an opponent's inventory in Dota while they're in the fog of war, outside of utilizing this bug. Therefore, combined with its widespread banning in other recent tournaments, we believe it is reasonable to consider the abuse of this bug to go against the spirit of Dota. It was a mistake to not restate that the bug was still banned to all participants in the qualifiers, and this has to be taken into account when looking at appropriate sanctions. And appropriate sanctions. The scope of the sanctions delivered as a result of the various circumstances at play will be limited to exactly ESL1 Raleigh and its qualifiers. no sanction will extend beyond that point, past or future. Given the easily perceivable unfair nature of the information gained here, combined with the fact that Valve shortly thereafter patched it out and that other TOs have been explicitly banning the bug, especially with the widespread reminder circulated during the PGL qualifiers immediately preceding Raleigh, sanctions are absolutely warranted for significant abuse of this bug. When arriving at sanctions, however, it has to be admitted that there is a significant degree of mitigation due to the fact that we did not explicitly recommunicate the banned status of this bug. Furthermore, all uses of this bug were not necessarily equal. We have internally split the teams into 6 categories. Systematic abuse of the bug. The bug features in a strong majority of the team's matches. At points in gameplay, at least one member of the team is consistently using the bug in an attempt to gain an advantage. It appears to be a constituent part of the team's general approach to Dota. The following teams fall into this category. 9 Pandas, 160 abuses. Navi Jr., tied 115 abuses. Aurora Gaming, 50 abuses. Moderate abuse of the bug. The bug features in a few of the team's games. It is only used occasionally, but usually in high-impact spots involving Smoke of Deceit. The following teams fall into this category. Passion UA, 17 abuses. One Move, 12 abuses. Vertistop Pro, 11 abuses. Winter Bear, 9 abuses. Tundra Esports, 9 abuses. Team Spirit, 7 abuses. Team Secret, 5 abuses. Minor abuse of the bug. The following teams have abused the bug once or twice and fall into this category. Wildcard, Shopify Rebellion, Natus Vincere. Accidental use of the bug. The bug has been used by teams throughout the qualifiers, but the instances found were inconclusive as abuse. The following teams fall into this category. Nigma Galaxy, Talon, Gaming Gladiators, M80. Not suspected of using the bug. The remaining 40 teams from our closed qualifiers have passed all checks performed by our team, and there is no indication that they used the bug, accidental or otherwise. The final verdict? The 3 teams that made abuse of this bug a core part of their strategy in the qualifiers for ESL 1 Raleigh, 9 Pandas, Navi Jr., Aurora Gaming, are disqualified from the event. Teams which fall into the moderate abuse of the bug category will be penalized through fines. Teams that made minor abuses of the bug will receive a warning. Teams that accidentally utilized the bug will not receive any sanctions. Dream League Season 25 and beyond. We encourage teams to come forward if they suspect that bug abuse is being utilized in games instead of abusing the bugs themselves to level the playing field. A healthy Dota scene requires cooperation between teams and TOs to be able to showcase the best Dota possible. There were no reported incidents and no official match protests filed during the Dream League Season 25 qualifiers. Therefore, no investigation took place and no sanctions will be given out. Teams are encouraged to talk to tournament administration if they have any reservations about a match. Details about how match protests are handled can be found in the drop-downs below. We will be working to clarify these rules further in the future to eliminate the possibility of this situation happening again.